If you're watching another how to make 1 crore with AI video, that usually is a startup story of a founder who has not started anything yet and they want to make millions out of AI somehow magically, and I'm guessing that's not you. Because you, my friend, here are an entrepreneur and you have a PNL, you have a team, you have clients, and this is not a new business for you because you've been in this for years and you don't want AI to magically make crores for you. You want to use AI to take your existing business to the next level. In 2026, if you ask me, AI is an operating leverage on the business that you already run. And there's exactly one question that finds where it lives, and we're going to discuss that today. So by the end of this video, I'm going to take you through 4 AI tools that is running my consulting business right now. And all of these tools have been built by me and not bought. And my intention is not to sell you this. And in fact, I'm not selling this as well. But my intention in this video is to show you that you can build your own tools that could help you in your business and not to give you a lecture on how AI can make you millions. And here's the tech stack that I use. 99% of my work gets done by Claude alone and nothing else. Nothing else if you ask me. There is Claude and usually maybe Notebook LM that I use in addition to it. That's pretty much 100% of the tools that I use. And the tools that give me leverage were themselves built using AI, which is designed for leverage. And all of this has been done in days, not months. And today, I'm going to tell you how you can plan that yourself. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is the leverage question. See, you are not an AI agency builder. You are not an AI side hustle founder who's trying to chase this 1 crore number from zero. You are a founder who already has a business and you are going to run AI as leverage on top of the business that you run. Now, if you use AI right, it becomes a multiplier of everything in your business, everything that you already own, and it can be magical for you. So before I talk about it, let me talk about the 2 traps that most people get stuck in. The first one is the trap of the autopilot lie. Most of the videos on the internet talks about how you can run your entire business on autopilot. And here's the thing, the pitch that you get is use AI and it'll run your business while you sleep. See, if you're making 15 lakhs to about 50 lakhs, the real business that you run is your relationship. And if you hand it to an automated agent like AI, you're actually breaking the very thing that the client is paying you for. People are paying you for the relationship. People are paying you for the conversation that they're having with you. And if you ask me, AI alone makes a lot of mistakes and AI alone wastes a lot of time. So here's the first thing that you need to understand. You need to understand that AI plus a competent human, that is your real leverage in business. So AI plus a competent human, that is your real leverage in business. And the whole pitch of sleep income, that if you ask me is the YouTube creator's pitch, and that's not the operating reality. And how do I know this? I've tried this myself. I took a shot at AI taking over all the creative work because, Claude is great at writing content. And what I did was I started posting a lot of content fully generated by AI with no human in the loop. And the whole thing bombed. Why? It was generic, it was AI shaped, it was AI slop, and my whole social media engagement dipped. And the thing is, see, audience don't really see AI written as efficient anymore. They see it as lazy and they punish you for it because it's not in real human language. If there's only one point that you take away from this, you need to understand that AI alone is not the game. If you want to play the game, it's AI plus you on the right kind of work. That is the game changer. And going on the same part of autopilot, the second thing is AI can produce things in volume. Yes, like I told you, AI can produce things in volume, but there are 2 things that you need to know about this. What is this volume that you're posting? If you're posting more AI volume that nobody is going to check out, that volume is not helping you. In fact, that is taking you down. And as an entrepreneur, your problem is reaching out to the right people with authority because that's what you need. So your problem is not volume, it's the depth of proof. And clients who are actually going to pay you 2x or 3x, they don't follow you because of your post count. They follow you because of something that you said that made sense, something that you said that showed them proof of your credibility. And if you ask me, AI content is quite literally the opposite of it. So the first thing that you need to understand is if you've been dreaming of running your whole business on autopilot, forget it. That is a wasted dream. And the second one is if you're trying to pump out a lot of high volume content that nobody is watching, that is wasted time too. Now, let me take you through exactly what you should do instead. So, now coming to the real question, how do you work this out? The question that you need to answer is, in my existing work, in my business right now, which part can AI handle? This is the first question that you need to answer. The wrong questions to ask is which AI tool should I buy? The wrong question to ask is what AI business should I start? What 3000 tools do I need to learn? The only question that you need to ask is which part of the work that I already do can AI take over? Because you want to use AI to buy you back time, and that's what AI is really good at. So how do you do this? Pick one of the 5 parts of your business, maybe sales, operations, delivery, marketing, finance, and then find one repetitive piece of work, not the whole part, one slice of that entire part, and hand that slice to AI by the end of this week and see how maybe one Claude session with 1 or 2 iterations can take over that repetitive task. The primary rule that you need to follow is do not try to automate everything. Everything is the wrong word. Answer is one specific repetitive friction inside the work that you already do. That is what you need to start automating. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause this video, open Google Docs and write down the 5 parts of your business: sales, delivery, operation, marketing, finance. And now circle that one part where you watched a team member skip the boring repetitive tasks, because honestly, humans get tired with repetitive tasks. Maybe the transcript that nobody reviewed, or the data entry that keeps piling up, or the report that nobody is giving you. That part, circle that off, and you want to start with that. I want you to do this right now and I want you to come back. If you do this every week, in a month, you will have 4 repetitive tasks sorted, and by the end of the year, you will have 52 repetitive tasks sorted. And that is crazy. If you're in between 15 to 50 lakhs, each week you're getting back anywhere between 2 to 20 hours. And by the end of the year, you would have freed up so much time, and see how that can compound for you. Now, rule number 2. Now, the next thing that I want to tell you is the split rule. There is one specific way in which you hand off tasks to AI. If the task is repetitive, you need to understand that AI can mostly take it alone. AI can most often than not do it alone. But if the task is creative, in this case, you need to add AI plus a human, because this is where AI most often than not, in the name of creativity, usually produces garbage. The good news for you here is, most often than not, humans get very bored on repetitive tasks. And boredom is where mistakes are born. Things like data entry, transcript reviewing, sorting, organizing. I'm sure you watched a team member skip one of these because they got boring, and AI does not get bored. And AI becomes that sole owner of any repetitive task in your business. Let me give you a specific case study on something that I did. I built a tool that analyzes my team's sales calls. So let me tell you how I used to work it before. I would take the team's sales calls. Let's say they did 50 calls a week. On Sunday night or Monday morning, I would take about 4 to 5 sales calls of random setters, random closers, review it and give them a feedback on Monday morning. With that, my focus usually would be on how well they handled objections, how they collected money, how they went to the close. But I never really found patterns through it. But recently what I did was, I created an AI tool that takes every single sales call that my team does, and it analyzes it, it scores the calls, and it starts noticing patterns. Which means earlier, out of the 50 calls I was reviewing 5 calls, that's about 10%. Now AI is reviewing 100% of the calls. So which means 100% coverage is achieved. And to give you a costing, it roughly cost me about 35-40 rupees per call. So for 100 calls, it cost me about 3,500 to 4,000 rupees. The whole thing has been built on Claude. I can say that it's been coded by me, but the point is I don't know how to write a single line of code. I've just instructed Claude in plain English on what I wanted, and Claude wrote the code. And the whole iteration happened in a few days, and I have never written a line of code in my life. And I'll tell you what is the crazy part. The crazy part is not that I built a sales tool. The crazy part is I found something that I would have never found. I found a gap in my sales reps, and every single sales rep, after analyzing a few calls, AI said, hey, here's one thing that I've realized with all your sales rep. These guys never mirror what the client is saying. Which means if the client says, my problem is breathing and because of that I'm not able to sleep, my sales rep usually used to say, so you have health problems. So they would summarize what the client said. And one of the primary rules of sales is, if you mirror the client's words back, trust gets very easily established. The point is, this pattern that I never noticed, AI, it was able to analyze it, and AI can do a lot of things very structurally. Like I told you, analyzing sales calls is a very boring task. And as a human, I tend to skip to the interesting part like objection handling and closing, but AI doesn't care for that. It would read the entire script and it pointed this out to me. And what ended up happening was in the last 2 months, the coaching that I did with the sales team, it shifted from objection handling to mirroring. And what has happened, this is what has resulted. Prospects are staying longer in the conversations and more people started coming back to the next call, and that led to more sales closings. This blew my mind because this is something that I would have never figured out on my own. And there is no way in hell that I'd be able to review 100% of the sales calls. And that is what is crazy. That's one of the things that I've built. Can I take you through another tool that I've built? I've also built a team accountability system, which means tool is very simple. The team logs their daily plan, which means in the morning they tell me what is it that they're going to work on. In the afternoon they check in, and in the end of the day they attach proof of their work. And the best part is AI is sitting on top of this, which means AI is looking at all the work, what they said, what they did at the end of the day. And in a few days, it tells me, hey, your video editor said that this is how many videos he would do. And this is the output that he has given. And that is crazy. The reason I built this tool is because I felt that my team is not working hard enough. But the AI pattern revealed that, Swastik, the thing is, most of your team does not have work to do, which means you are not assigning enough work for them. So that's when I realized the bottleneck wasn't the team's performance. It was on my side where I was not distributing enough work. If you realize, that's a different fix entirely. The whole thing had to shift from team not working to, hey, me coming in the way and me not doing my job right. Those are the two practical ways that I'm using AI currently. I'll perhaps give you more ways I'm using it as we progress in the video. Now, coming back to this part. For creative tasks, you need to understand that AI is AI. So if you do not put a competent human in between, the whole thing is just going to be AI garbage that nobody wants to read. Let me tell you inside the creative part what AI can do well. AI can research well. AI can polish what you've already created. AI can give you good finishing, but you need a human in between. You need a human in between to bring out real examples, bring in humanity to it, decide what stays, what gets cut, because AI doesn't realize what emotions feel like. If you're talking about content, you need the human to pick the right angles and, like I said, real examples and decide what stays and what goes out. And that filtered, if you feed it back to AI, now you have something good to work with. Repetitive tasks, AI can mostly manage it alone. Creative tasks, it should be you plus AI. The most common mistake that I see people making is they take creative tasks to AI alone and they conclude that AI doesn't work. AI works, it's just that the way you are splitting the task, that was wrong. Now, if you are building something using AI, let me give you a few build rules. Rule number 1 is build for your specific use case. Rule number 1 is build for your specific use case. What this means is, most people, when they realize that they can build a lot of tools using AI, they start building random things. They're like, I can build a content system, I can build a calendar management system, I can build an assistant, I can build a video creation tool. Now, the thing is, I've gone through all those phases only to realize that when you build these things that are generic and that can solve everybody's problem, you're not building a tool for anybody, not even for yourself. And it took me about a few months to realize that if I'm not building for my specific use case, everything that I spend time on with AI, it's pretty much useless. So I'm not saving time, I'm actually losing a lot of time. So let me give you an example. See, I consult for businesses and I own a portfolio of companies. At this point, I run 4 companies that I've acquired. And through the day, I have a lot of conversations with each of these owners. And I realized that keeping a log, keeping a check of everything got so complicated and I was losing out on a lot of things. So here's what I did. I built a system where every conversation, the memory of it gets condensed and it gets captured. And every week, me and the founder, we get a report on what we've discussed through the entire week. And in addition to this, there is another consultant AI who sits on top of the whole history, and this AI is monitoring how we are actually progressing as a company, and it's flagging patterns. Remember I told you this sales app where I realized that mirroring was a problem? In a similar way, the AI starts flagging the mistakes that we make. One of the recent things that AI told me is you and your team have so much conversation about creating content versus the amount of time you actually spend creating content is very low. So I realized AI starts calling out on these patterns that you usually don't see. So I currently have 4 of these portfolio companies on this platform right now. The only thing that I use is Claude, and I use Superbase is another platform which just stores data and it's free. You can go check it out. The point is, this is specific to my use case. So let's say there is a topic that comes up in a current call and AI starts analyzing the call and it says, hey, Swastik, you've had a similar conversation a month ago and it took you the whole month to implement it. And what is happening is these implementation lags are being mirrored back to me, and it catches my slowness and it catches the mistakes that we're making. See, this tool is not something that I've built for anybody else except for me. This tool only works for me and it makes sense for me. And like I said, rule number one is build for your specific requirements. Let me give you another instance of me having built something specific for me. I told you about this tool that analyzes the sales calls, right? I took it a step ahead where I realized I have a set of people who make the initial call and then they hand it over to the sales closer. And the thing about the handoff is the setter has to very clearly specify what the conversation was with the client so that the closer can take it from there so that it's smooth, so that the client doesn't have to repeat himself or herself and they don't get pissed off. And I saw that the setter, when they're entering things on their Google Sheet, they always summarize, they make mistakes, they put very basic pointers, and the closers usually find it very difficult to take it forward. And so I started thinking, what if I take the setter's calls and I create a handoff system where based on the setter's call, the AI automatically writes a document for the closer to read through when he's getting on the closing call, and that changed the game. This is an add-on that I did to my existing sales system where the setter to closer handoff got built. And again, that was a specific use case. I just built it recently, so I can't tell you exactly on what it will lead to, but I already know that it's going to make the game very smooth. Yes. So rule number one is build for your specific use case. Rule number two, and pay attention to this rule. If you ask me, master one single LLM. LLM stands for a large language model. For example, master either ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. Don't go shopping for 3,000 tools, because most of the YouTube AI content that you see are salespeople who are paid to demo these specific tools, and they're just telling you that this is the best tool, and one other guy will tell you this is the best tool, and you end up using all of them and doing nothing about it. Like I told you, my current tech stack is one tool, which is Claude. And if you ask me which LLM do I recommend, I am not affiliated to it, I don't make any money with it. But this is one tool. Claude is one tool that I use. And if you want me to make detailed videos on how I use Claude and how I use Notebook LM, comment below and I will perhaps make a video in the near future. These are the only two tools that I currently use, and they get 99% of my work done. I don't use anything else. See, what happens is when you start going deeper into one specific tool, you start getting more and more skilled, and this beats you learning 3,000 tools every single time. This is rule number two. And rule number three, never replicate tools. If there is a tool that already exists on the internet, and if you can go pay money and if you can use it, don't think that, hey, I can create this tool and I can save so much money, because most often than not, that is going to take you a lot of time to build the entire tool to its entire structure. And I've made this mistake personally, and I can tell you this. I saw a SaaS subscription that I was paying about 1,000 rupees per month for, and I decided I would just rebuild it. I would spend hours and days into building it, and it's a massive waste of time. Like I told you, if it's a generic problem, there are already generic solutions. So go use that solution instead of wasting time, because when I'm telling you about building these tools, you can build all of it, but it does take some amount of time. And my thought is, if there is already a solution, don't break your head on it until and unless you save lakhs by you building it on your own. Don't try to build it on your own. That's what I have to tell you. So all the four tools that I've built, I told you about the sales tool that I've built, the team tracking, the portfolio consulting, the setter close handoff. All of this has been, let's use the colloquial term, vibe coded by me. What that means is I described what I wanted in plain English to Claude, and Claude wrote the code in days, not in months. No computer science degree required, because I've never written a line of code in my life. Go subscribe for Claude and go figure this out. It's not very complicated. And the best part about AI is, if you don't know something about AI, you can ask AI. See, the tools that gave me operating leverage, which is my sales tool and my, let's say, team tracking tool, the portfolio tool, all of these are tools that gave me operating leverage. These tools were built using the tool that gave me operating leverage, which is AI. Does that make sense? Anyways, pause it, rewind it, and listen to it again if that didn't make sense. Yeah? Now let me give you one specific use case with AI right now that you can go ahead and build. Let's say if you're a service provider, 15 to 50 lakhs, and you have good work, you've completed a few projects, and a lot of clients speak well of you. The problem is you don't have specifically documented case studies. Here's what I would say. First, go take all your conversations with your client. Let's say usually in India, you have all your conversations on WhatsApp. Take all of the conversations, all the things that I've told you, all the things that they've appreciated about you. Take all these messages, feed it to Claude, and you can use, today there's something called Claude Design. There's a tab called Claude Design. You can ask Claude to create beautiful designs based on these messages, and you can ask it to create beautiful case studies for you. See, what would have taken you about 20 hours to create, the whole thing gets done in maybe 1 hour of you doing this right. So take multiple of these conversations, take it to Claude, use design, and get these as good, well-written case studies. And the beautiful part is you can start sharing this with other people, and this just takes your game up. See, the founders who win in this decade, they're not going to be people who started an AI agency, but they are going to be the ones who used AI to make their existing business that they already had way better. That is what you are trying to do here. Also, based on everything that we've discussed, tell me what landed the most for you. And tell me, where is it that you're struggling with using AI in your business? Because I plan to do a lot of videos on AI. And if you tell me where you're stuck, I'll perhaps make a video specifically on that use case. If this video landed something for you, hit the subscribe button and share this with a friend who might need this. Because what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to bring in real conversations, real use case, such that you can take your business to the next level. So hit that subscribe button and I will see you in the next video. No more scrolling for tools, no more AI millionaire videos. Work on your business with AI because that is the real game. Let's go.